Claudia, every time we do these calls, I realize like how shiny I am and how much I look like a ghost or that I have a sunburn.
I become hair aware. So let's move on to the topic.
All right, fine. We'll talk about something better than my skin. Okay, so today we are talking about how to stand out in a very noisy market because there's probably, you look around at your competition, quote unquote, and you see lots of people doing the same things, saying the same things as you. You are receiving lots and lots of incoming information, so you're experiencing the noise yourself. You want to block it out. But how can you stand out for your audience and help earn their trust so that they can eventually become your clients? Today, that's what Claudia and I are talking about. Claudia is a marketing expert. I'm a content specialist. And we want to really talk about the simple ways to get, the spotlight on you without creating more noise. What do you think about that?
I think it's a great idea. And this is a lovely topic because it's easy. It's simple, but not easy. Actually, standing out is simple. It's about being consistent. So few people are consistent nowadays. So the moment you are consistent, you're already 97. You're ahead of 97% of the people. But the trick is being consistent, and consistency and standing out stem out from solid marketing foundations.
Okay. So you can't be consistent if you don't have the foundations in place.
No, and the foundations I am referring to is understanding who is your ideal client. And understanding means knowing their pains, their dreams, their fears, but also how they talk about their problem and what solution they think will work for them. Because when you listen to these things, you can create products that address these needs. And you can use language that's relatable to them. So they don't have to do the extra work of translating what you're trying to say to their problem. And that is really standing out. You don't use the argument, but you talk in the way they would talk about their problem. So
can I just say, I just want to add one thing here about that, because this is a problem that I used to experience as a high school English teacher, because my students would write essays and they would hint at everything, or they would obscure everything deep inside of a very wordy paragraph. And it would, they think in their head, oh, she can make the leap because she's smart. She can make the leap from my very obscure idea to the point I'm trying to make. And I would constantly say to them, it's not my job to figure this out. It's not my job to diffuse the bomb. It's not my job to wade through everything. And it makes it harder for the reader. And so whether we're talking about reading content or listening to content like this, which is, a lot of what people are doing now, we have to make it easily consumable.
Yes. The difference with your example and the real world, to put it quote unquote, is that we, in our heads, I don't think we assume you will take the leap. It's that we are so deep in our stuff and in our subject that we have already forgotten the simplicity, the layer that is more above, and that's how people come to you. So we're too much into jargon, too much into concepts. And we need to come and meet our clients where they are. That's the most important thing. And that's where language plays a role. So language helps you to stand out. And it's not the complicated, elaborated, flowery language, but it's more the language that makes it easy to understand. What are you about? What are you offering? How can you help them? So that they don't have to do this complicated algebra in their head to understand how you can help them. And it's more human. It's at the same time more human. And we do business with people. So I would say understanding your customer is key, because it also, when you understand your customer, you will avoid operating under assumptions. So you will really know what's going on and create tailored products. You wanted to add something?
I do, because I used to make this mistake a lot, because I would assumed that my clients were using words like stressed out and burned out, because that's where I was, and those were my words. But they were not using those words. They were using words like frazzled and scattered and disorganized, overwhelmed. That was, and until I started to do the conversations, the interviews, to do my target market research, and I found that I just kept missing them because what I was saying wasn't landing. So this is a way we not only make it more complicated by using jargon or talking about things that are more like down the road that they're not ready to hear.
Or using ourselves as a model of our ideal client because we've gone through it. And that's a mistake. We can, our experience can be the base for our business and for our solution, but we ourselves aren't our best clients.
Yes.
When you use yourself as your ideal client, which is something I see a lot,
I do too.
You happens what you just described. You're using your words and you are missing them because you're talking about burnout. Well, they feel frazzled, and maybe our variation of the same word, but it's a different way. So you talk about burnout, content can be very frustrating for me, but I would never associate burnout or how I feel about content with burnout. I will burn out content, but content will never.
Well, so that's the first thing to stand out is just simplify your language and just talk to your people and find out what words they're using and stop using yourself, or stop using, I actually have said this before, stop using your current clients as the ideal client. Really, it's because your current clients have already come down the road a little bit with you.
Yes, you've brainwashed them already, so they are familiar with your more technical language, if you want to call it that way. Yes.
Yeah. Somebody just said, so the conversation that we're having in our head skip steps for our client. Yeah, I love that. That's so well said.
That's a very wise comment. That means we are doing a good job in translating. The other thing that is very important, and it's part of your foundations, is your message. Your marketing message, which is how you attract clients. And your marketing message is telling to people what you can do for them in terms of results. So you and I discussed this once when you were helping me with content. If you are in a meeting and you ask this person, hey, what do you do? And this person says, I'm an accountant. For me, exactly. End of conversation.
Right. There's end of conversation.
Because first, it's a boring topic, but secondly, I am in my head racing to figure out how to have this conversation out of the coma. But if this person says, I help entrepreneurs to save money on taxes and other expenses so they can grow their business, my next reaction would be, tell me more. I need a person like you. And the difference is, in the first case, this person is totally focused on the process, accountancy, which is boring. In the second case, this person is focused on the results. It's a message that revolves around me and my needs. Who doesn't want to save on taxes? Who doesn't want more money to grow your business without having to recur to loans or that kind of stuff? So when your marketing message is not focused on your ideal client, and it's not addressing a pain or a dream, if you don't want to steer the pain, but you want to focus on the hope, then you cannot stand out, because there is the thing is, there's so many people doing similar things to you. So there are many more content creators, many other marketeers, many other dietitians, nutritionists, astrologists, coaches, you name it. But it's that mixture of what you do with how you do it that makes you different and that allows you to stand out. So you really need to understand what is that you bring to that mix, and okay, I am a lawyer and I am a coach. Okay, that is a good combination, lawyer and coach, but that will create, for instance, trust with other lawyers that might need coaching and uncomfortable. But you need to know what is that you bring and put that into your message.
I don't think a lot of people spend enough time thinking about the results. Sometimes the results that we create for people are very feeling kind of results. I help create confidence. And I think people struggle with those feeling results because they've been seeing other big marketers talk about, like, I help people make six figures, or I help people make $10,000 or attract 30 new clients a month, or whatever it is. And those are quantifiable. And that is, I think, a place where a lot of service providers get tripped up. But if you spend time thinking about the results that you help people create, it doesn't have to be, like I can't say I help people attract 30 new clients a month, even though their content might do that, because it's different for everybody. But I help you learn how to make content creation simple and easy so that you can do it in an hour a week. That's a result that people want. It's not a sexy result. It's not $100,000, but when you and I did my signature system and I figured out the result that I help people get to becoming a content powerhouse, just knowing that, I'm like, oh my God, I can speak about this so much more easily in my marketing.
Definitely. But this is so nice because this circles back to understanding your customer,
Yes.
If your customer says, I need self-confidence, or I'm overwhelmed by marketing, then you use that in your message. And, then it can be intangible as self-confidence, or it can be measurable as 30 clients a day. But you need to know, and this is so interesting because you also mentioned the competitors. And the thing is, most of our clients, in the case of people like you and me who are entrepreneurs and we work one-on-one, is that our potential clients are not comparing us to another coach or another course.
Right.
Who knows? Or somebody we consider our competitor. They are comparing us to the solution they are using right now.
Yeah.
So if you want to stand out, you need to understand what solution are they using now.
Yeah, that's another great point. Right.
In my case, I am a marketeer who helps entrepreneurs to market their business easier and with less overwhelm. My competitors are not other coaches or courses or shiny objects. My competitors is they are trying to figure out marketing on their own.
Yes.
So my message has to revolve around that, because I work with entrepreneurs who have been in business for 2-3 years, doing everything the gurus say and still not seeing the results. So the important thing is they're trying to figure it out on their own, but they are missing something. So if I start to talk about course or compare myself to Mary Forleo or to what's her name again? Amy Porterfield. First, we don't do the same thing, but it will be absurd even if I use them as a reference, because that's not who my clients are. Tired of the general thing, and they want somebody who looks at their business with them. And helps them to, solve the gaps. So I need to use that in my message. And that all stems from understanding your customer. So if you really want to stand out, understand your customer, put that in your message, and of course in your content.
And then what's the third thing?
The third thing is, I added it a little bit in the message, is we focus too much on the process.
Yes.
So you see descriptions like we have 6 modules and 3 hours, and people, they do buy process, but they make a decision based on the result and the transformation.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of entrepreneurs keep from mentioning all the pieces in the puzzle because they are afraid other people will figure out their product or service and copycat it. And the thing is, you are doing a disservice to your potential clients by hiding information. So, be forward, show all the pieces in the puzzle, but talk about the transformations, talk about the results, because when you're not talking about the process, nobody can copy paste you.
Give me an example of how that looks.
The process.
Yeah, so you can use maybe either something in your business or our product that we have or our service that we have. Well, what would somebody normally do?
Okay, when somebody that has a course or has a service or the program you and I are putting now out in the market will say, you will have 6 modules and you will learn this and you will learn that and all that stuff. The way we do it is that we create a graphic representation of the process you will go through, which is kind of a roadmap. And you will see the transformations, but you will also see the deliverables, which is what will allow you to make the decision. The other thing is that having a roadmap, people will know how far they are from the result and can compare what they have done with what they are missing to get there. So, but essentially what we are doing in the graphic roadmap is talking about the results and the transformations. And I show you a process that is proven. So in my case, we first do a business review. I want to know everything you have done in your business with which results, so that we can start to clean and rescue the things that are giving you results, and review the things that are not giving you results. From there, we start to see what you add to the market. What makes you different? Why do I want to work with you? Then we go and understand your client. And then we can start to see how what you bring connects with your client in your message. With those elements, we go to your message. Then we go to your signature system or your offer, which is pulling out of your head how you take your people from A to B with the respective. And then we go to the market strategy. So how are we going to create content? How are we going to reach out the market? And finally do the discovery calls so that you can. And then you see everything, and it allows you to see it in a way that you say, okay, this makes sense. So but there, the trick then again is focusing on the results. What do I do? What do I give you? In this stage, you will go from confused to clarity. In this stage, you will go from everybody to the one. And that allows you to really have a grasp and see, okay, this is what I needed. But a lot of people are fearful of laying out their process or their offer as a full puzzle, because they are afraid other people will pick up the idea and develop it from there. But, if you're clear who your client is, that is not going to happen.
Well, I think the takeaway from that is you can talk about your process, but you don't have to give away the hows.
Exactly.
In the process. It's just the whys and the whats that, you're going to go from, speaking to everybody to speaking to the one, so that you can stop splattering your message everywhere. Oh, that'll give me so much more time back. That'll give me so much more energy back, right? Like
and also use your resources in a wise manner, because it's one thing channeling your resources into the people that you stand more chance to bring in than, splattering your stuff and see who baits, to call it somehow in a not nice way.
So that's so stop focusing on the hows was the third way to stand out. Is there a fourth way?
Well, the fourth thing you could say, it's the part of the competitors. It's understanding who your competitor is, which is, what the solution they are using now, and don't work on assumptions. I would keep it there.
Okay. So these three things could really be much more simple. And it's really much more about using their language, stop talking about the hows and talk more about the results, and get out of your own process to do that.
Exactly. Yes.
I love it. Yeah.
And yes, and this will allow you to be consistent. And by being consistent, you become more reliable. And that is what will allow you to stand out.
Yeah, I know it is the consistency. And the other thing, I just want to say one word about consistency before we go, is that consistency looks different to everybody. And showing up on social media every day might be not achievable for you. Showing up weekly on email, but you do need to do something regularly. And if you're trying to do everything, but you're only doing it in piecemeal, there's no return on investment of that. So save all of that bullshit that you're currently doing and just go in on the one platform in the one way that feels the best to you. So that's how you create consistency.
Yeah, it's the rule of one, it's what you have in content is one platform, one format, and in marketing is one offer, one client, one message.
Yes.
And when you have that under control and you know how it works, then you can start expanding, but very focused.
Yes. Okay. I hope this was helpful for people to simplify some of the stuff that you're probably doing, and we know because, first of all, we've been there before and we work with people every day who struggle with this stuff. So thank you for showing up. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. We've also shared our 2 websites so that you can learn more about each of us. I'm Jen Liddy. This is Claudia Schalkx, although I always say her name wrong because I can't say it in English.
It's all Dutch for mischievous, Jen.
All right, Miss Mischievous is signing off now too. Thanks, everybody. Bye.